It got quiet in here, didn't it? Didn't it get real quiet?
It's pretty much every celebrity's worst nightmare to have their name be connected to Diddy's these days. And though he's remained silent and tried to distance himself from the disgraced rapper, Denzel Washington just can't seem to get away from him. More and more shocking headlines keep coming out that link the two Hollywood elites, and one of the most recent stories about the pair is something that could haunt Denzel for the rest of his life.
And we all want to be liked, but now we want to be liked by 16 million. And will now some of us do anything to be liked? We used to do anything to be liked, but it was by the person in front of you. Now it's to be liked by 16 million people that you don't know. We have to ask ourselves, what is the long-term, if not the short-term effect of too much information?
Jay-Z isn't the only celebrity who people have speculated might have known about Diddy's dark side. There are quite a few famous men who have fallen under the public's magnifying glass because of their friendship with the disgraced rapper.
Denzel said to me a few minutes ago, he said, at your highest moment, be careful, that's when the devil comes for you.
NBC News reported that in December 2024, a lawsuit filed against Diddy also claimed that Jay-Z had joined him at a VMA after party where the pair allegedly had their way with a minor. And while there hasn't been any legal action taken against Denzel, there is a story being circulated that he once did something just as horrific at one of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties. In 2020, a woman named Allison Carter began getting attention on social media after she made shocking claims that she'd been harmed as a child. According to Hub Pages, one of the people she claimed was responsible for what happened to her was Diddy, and she reportedly even tried to take legal action against him, but it didn't lead anywhere.
Well, they have your name here on the affidavit with some young lady named Allie Carter.
I didn't believe that.
Now, guess what? She said, now here's the crazy part. I only saw the little affidavit paper say me, Denzel Washington, Diddy, Birdman, right? Here's the thing. I ain't never even been to no party.
But it was a lie though, Jock. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but I ain't never even been to the Playboy Mansion where she said this happened at.
Yeah.
Right? So then a close friend of mine sent me the real rundown of what was said in this thing. Man, I was just like, this shit sound like a good ass movie that I wasn't a part of.
She recently released a video alleging that after she made the accusation 4 years ago, she ended up losing everything: her home, her animals, and her job.
I never thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested, and I told you guys in that Maria Z interview in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy. P. Diddy. Alright? Just the same way nobody tells on Denzel Washington. People don't usually talk and stop and think about the children victims that are going through things right now as we speak, and the ones who suffered through all this bullshit. I decided to stop for a second and do some projects with projects all around, because we just said, you know what, this is our life, it's not changing. We stopped somewhere, and I've been hiding. My mom and I have been hiding. We've had our head down. We've tried to back up. We've tried to tell you everything that we can, and now we have people messaging us, investigators, people that want to talk now, when now it's because it's trending. We're still not on the subject of the kids. All the adults are covering their asses. All the adults are, I left at a certain time, yet you knew children were there. You knew these parties were not okay. They weren't freak-offs. They were satanic ritual orgies.
The Express Tribune wrote about how Allison made some wild allegations in one of her latest videos that has gone viral.
To God, I was scared, because at the time I was in my home, and I knew that if I talked to you, or I thought that if I said anything else more than the videos that I was saying, that we would be here. So I backed up from you, went to work, and tried to act like shit wasn't falling because I was scared, sir.
She alleged that Diddy's freak-offs weren't just twisted gatherings, they were satanic rituals where all kinds of unspeakable things happened to children. She said that the adults at the parties were responsible for the child servants that were there, and one of those children was her. Allison also said that she never thought the day would come when Diddy would be arrested. She said, "No one tells on Diddy, just the same way that no one tells on Denzel Washington." While she didn't get into details about what the famous actor had supposedly done, just mentioning his name was was enough to start a whirlwind of gossip about him. Earweb even released a report claiming that what Allison had said was that Denzel took advantage of her at one of Diddy's freak-offs. The Hub Pages article also spoke about how Allison allegedly signed an affidavit of truth in which she made some seriously disturbing allegations about things that she'd seen as a minor. Rumor has it that in the supposed affidavit, Allison made the claim that she'd been a party favor at one of Diddy's twisted parties. The video said that according to this affidavit, favors meant that the minors at the party were apparently sat on a table and had to wait for people to come and choose them. Once the adults were done having their way with them, they supposedly placed them back on the party favor table, and someone else could then come and pick them and repeat the process. Allison allegedly claimed in the affidavit that she was picked by so many different people on the night in question that she couldn't remember them all. But what does Denzel have to do with all this? Is there any chance that he could really have been at the party where things this sick supposedly happened?
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. You know, the devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite. Don't you bother him.
Yeah.
Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right. And for whatever reason, the devil got a hold of that circumstance, that night. And fortunately, there were people there, not just me, but others in the gap. Tyler Perry came right immediately, right over there with me, and some prayers, you know, keep it. I don't want to say what we talked about, but there, but for the grace of God, go any of us.
In a Reddit thread that talked about the wild allegations made in the affidavit circulating online, one user wrote that they didn't know why some people were saying, oh no, not Denzel. They went on to say that even though a person might have liked him in one of his movies, they shouldn't forget that he was acting in it. The commenter added that celebrities like Denzel didn't live in the real world. They lived a lifestyle that distorted reality for them.
Denzel always told me, we'd be at the parties, he said, you leave 30 minutes for the devil get there. Okay? Always remember that Denzel would leave the parties early.
Not long ago, a clip began making the rounds on TikTok, which showed that Denzel might have had an idea of the kind of unsavory things that reportedly happened late into the night at Diddy's parties.
Washington reportedly abruptly left with his wife telling Diddy, quote, "You don't respect anyone."
The New York Post reported on a story that comedian Brandon T. Jackson shared when he was on the Breaking the Machine podcast. He spoke about the advice that his friend Denzel gave him before the first time he went to a Diddy party. He suggested that Brandon should leave 30 minutes before the devil gets there.
That's what Denzel told me. Leave 30 minutes before the devil gets there.
He then said that everyone should always remember that Denzel would leave the parties early. But with everything that Allison has been saying in her videos, people are now wondering if that was always the case. Did he really leave early every single time? There's been a lot of recent speculation about what kind of relationship he and Diddy really had. Though he and Diddy were nowhere near as close as he was with people like Jay-Z or Usher, they have been spotted out in public together a number of times. And we know that they attended some of the same parties. In October 2024, a story crept its way around news outlets about an intense incident that allegedly happened between them in front of other people. And you're not going to believe what Denzel reportedly said to Diddy. An U.S. Weekly Insider claimed that some serious drama took place at an all-night party, which Denzel and his wife Pauletta went to in 2003. And I think you can guess who else was there. Diddy. Apparently, something happened between the two entertainers that led to a heated moment between them in the early hours of the morning. The source alleged that Denzel actually raised his voice to Diddy. He yelled, "You don't respect anyone." Then Denzel reportedly just stormed out with Pauletta. According to the source, they had seen something that clearly upset them. Their public spat didn't seem to end their friendship, though. In the years since then, they have been seen hanging out together at quite a few different events, like basketball games, and even at Barack Obama's inauguration in 2009. So does Denzel have something to be worried about? Tony Busby, the lawyer whose client filed the recent lawsuit against Jay-Z and Diddy, is also representing over 100 other clients who reportedly have similar allegations against Diddy. Fox 10 Phoenix reported that during a press conference, Tony said that 25 of the individuals were just minors when the disgraced rap mogul people allegedly harmed them, with the youngest being just 9 years old. Tony also said, "The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs," and there's a lot of names.
In the entertainment industry, that really wasn't a secret at all, has finally been revealed to the world. The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward. Our team has had at this point more than 3,285 individuals contact us, with people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs.
He went on to share that because of the nature of the case, he and his firm wanted to make sure that they were right before they started naming some of the famous people in the lawsuits. But he insisted that the names would shock us all. Is Denzel's name on that list? I guess only time will tell. So far, Jay-Z is the only other high-profile celebrity to have been listed. And according to ABC News, he is heavily denying the accusations made in the lawsuit against him.
Jay-Z stepping out for the first time since that civil lawsuit accusing him of raping a then 13-year-old girl with fellow music mogul Sean Diddy Combs at a VMA after-party in 2000. Jay-Z, who has vehemently denied all the allegations, walked the red carpet at the premiere of Mufasa alongside his wife Beyonce and daughter Blue Ivy.
Jay-Z also released a statement claiming that his lawyer had received an extortion attempt called a demand letter from Tony.
Filing, Jay-Z demands the woman reveal herself and calls the claims a cynical and calculated campaign to force payment of an exorbitant sum of money.
He went on to say that he wanted to expose the Texas-based attorney for the fraud that he was in a very public fashion. Jay-Z also confessed that his only heartbreak was for his family.
Children.
I can't imagine her heartbreak, and for herself, for her children, for both sides of their family. The struggles that they've overcome as a couple have been profound and have inspired many other couples all around the world. And so this is a moment, it's a test.
He explained that he and his wife would have to sit their children down and explain the cruelty and greed of people. Soon after the statement came out, Tony took to his social media to say that people would see through any effort to discredit him and his clients and that the truth would be revealed. But anyway, what do you guys think? Why would Allison bring up Denzel's name like that? And who do you think might be some of the other names involved in Tony's lawsuit? Let me know in the comments below.